What nerdigans? This is the one and only Packer Girl 89 of Nerdigans Inc. and anime and manga contributor to Bounding into Comics. And today's deep dive is going to be for the over 100 miracle talk between legendary mangaka Ichiro Oda and Goshoyama. So before I get into this deep dive, let me just remind you to hit that like, share, and subscribe buttons. And because of course this channel, let alone this video, are not sponsored, and I'm just praying to the gods that me and Kitty aren't going to be homeless next month and sleeping on the street. Yeah, my reality is crap right now. Ugh. But if you love what we're doing and want to help keep this operation alive and kicking, so we can keep bringing you more anime and manga content, whether it be live reactions or news, analysis, and deep dives like this video, feel free to hit up our Cash App and PayPal. Links are in the description box below, as well as the link to the full transcript, courtesy of unofficial Shonen Jump news and weekly Shokugaku edition, who, thanks to them, we have this interview. So, for those of you that don't know about this legendary interview, this interview, well, the full interview isn't supposed to come out for like another week. The first part is supposed to be coming out this week. The second part is supposed to be coming out the week after. But thanks to Weekly Shogokukan Edition and Shonen Jump News Unofficial, we got both parts. Yes. And as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh my god, I have to cover this. If I can't cover it for Bounding into Comics, well, just in case I can't cover it for Bounding into Comics, I gotta cover it on this channel, because my god, there's some good info up in here, especially since I cover both One Piece and Detective Conan on this channel. So without further ado, let's get to this. So we're going to start off with part 1 up in here. So last year, both One Piece and Detective Conan surpassed 100 volumes. A miraculous dialogue between two mangaka who have been at the forefront of the manga industry for many years has finally come to fruition. With Detective Conan, by the way, being as old as I am. Yeah, there's only one other manga that I cover that's the same age as me. And Captain's actually 2 if you want to count Saint Seiya. And 3 if you want to count, well, Captain's Boss is older than I am, and Dragon Ball is technically older than I am as well. So, go figure, right? Hajime no Ippo is the other one that's the same age as me. Yeah! God, I feel so old right now. But anyways, for those, some fun facts there. But anyways, so let's get to Jump and Sunday back then here, which is the first part. In a previous interview, Ayama-sensei said that it'd be interesting to have a talk with Oda-kun as comrades who will reach 100 volumes simultaneously, which is really crazy that that's happened, right? I would like to talk about various things. Oda-sensei answered in a comment that he had never met him, but feels like a comrade in arms. That's crazy that they've never met, right? I know how tough getting to 100 volumes is, Ayama-sama. Ayama-san, congrats on 100 volumes of Conan. This legendary talk is now finally coming true. Here we go. Starting off with Ayama here. Oda-kun doesn't really show his face much, so it's an honor to actually see it. And yeah, fun fact, Miyazaki sensei and Miya Robocut actually joked about that too. Ayama-san does show his face in a lot of places though, but I'm really happy. I didn't think I'd ever meet you. And here's what Ayama says in response. Me neither. I always thought there would never be a future in which I met you. I was pretty impressed, and this is what Oda says. I was pretty impressed earlier because I got a business card from Weekly Shonen Sunday's editor-in-chief. I got a Sunday business card. This kind of stuff actually happens. I've been looking forward, something you have in common, and it seems Oda-sensei was born in 1975, while Ayama-sensei was born in 1963. You both share the same zodiac sign, having been born the year of the rabbit. That's interesting. Here's what Ayama says right here. That's right. Do you know about the Year of the Rabbit legend? Tetsuya Chiba Sensei was born in 1939, and Mitsuru Adachi Sensei was born in 1951. Both of them were also born in the year of the rabbit, separated by 12 years. I was also born 12 years after Mitsuru Adachi Sensei, and you were born 12 years exactly after me. We got no one after that. Oh my god, that is so weird. And then Otis says this. I wish we could fit Akira Toriyama Sensei somewhere, but he doesn't belong to the era of the rabbit. I do have to recognize I have only known much about Weekly Shonen Jump. Do you have knowledge of on other magazines, Ayama-san? Not really. At first, I brought my work to Weekly Shonen Magazine, and I was told it didn't really fit with them, so take it to a different publication. That's when I brought my work to Sunday, and that's where I've been since then. Weekly Shonen Magazine, you probably feel like shit right now, don't you? You made your debut in 1986, right? Oh, this manga older than me. I thought Detective Conan was the same age as me. This manga older than I am. So, wait a minute. Detective Conan is around the same age as Captain Tsubasa, because I think Captain Tsubasa came out around the same time as well. What hits were there back before you debuted? Well, I was a magazine kid, so it's not like I read much of Jump, but I still enjoyed works like One Two no Senshiro by Makoto Kobayashi and Orawa Tepe by Tetsuya Chiba. When it comes to Sunday, yes! So it was Mitsuru Adachi's Touch. If you have not read Touch, it is so good. The sequel mix is okay, but it's got nothing on Touch. Touch is a classic. And then Oda says this. I did read Touch and also Mitsuru Adachi's Rough. I'll have to read Rough. I haven't read that one. I gotta catch up with Mix and see if Mix got any better, because I wanted to cover Mix, but I never found the right chapter to start covering it. I covered the anime for a minute, but then I was just like, meh. After debuting, you serialized Magic Kaido, Yaiba, and Third Base. Fourth being Detective. Oh, okay. Because I was like, wait a minute, Detective Conan is the same age as me. There's no way that it's 86. It didn't seem right. After debuting, you serialized Magic Kaido, Yaiba, and Third Base, fourth being Detective Conan, your fourth work. Right, meanwhile, Oda-kun hasn't drawn any series other than One Piece. Indeed, I'm a one-hit wonder. A one-hit wonder with a way too big one hit. What other series were you serializing on Sunday? Were serializing on Sunday when you started Detective Conan? Well, it was a truly amazing time back then. Rumiko Takahashi's Rama Half. If you have not read Rama Half, why? Kazuhiro Fujita's Ushio Tutora, Mitsuru Adachi's H2, Nishimura Hiroyuki's Kyo Kara Oriwa. The lineup was absolutely terrifying. I did read Rama Half. It was really fun. Just reading different magazines, no matter how much time you spend on it, what you end up reading or seeing is completely different too. Exactly. Back when Detective Conan started, Jump had Akira Toriyama's Dragon Ball and Takehiko Inua's Slam Dunk. I read Dragon Ball. I love Toriyama Sensei's art. I was a jumper at that, and this is what Oda said in response. Ayama said this about Dragon Ball, but now let's get to Oda about what he said. I was a jumper at that time, but this is something I wanted to ask you if we could ever meet. How did you view Jump back then? Jump sales were incredibly overwhelming during that time, but a bit of conflict came later when Weekly Shonen Magazine surpassed its circulation numbers. Oh, shit! I have to apologize, but I didn't care about it at all! I didn't care at all about it! So you didn't even bother with it! Damn, Yama! I would like to ask your thoughts and memories back when your series started. When you both published your very first chapter, what was it like? So Oda answering this first. Okay. Let me take a sip of drink for this. All right, let's get to Oda's answer first. I started serializing One Piece in 1997, 2 years after Dragon Ball ended in 1995. It was a shock for all of us newcomers who came to the magazine to claim the series' abandoned throne. At that time, the fight for the place Dragon Ball left would begin, and for 2 years, everyone would get their series compared and completely crushed until I finally survived. Damn! Amazing! It was a time in both Dragon Ball and Slam Dunk ended right after the other. Isn't it crazy that we have history repeating itself? We have the same thing happening because you have, Kimetsu no Yaiba ended and Kimetsu no Yaiba's already been replaced with the Elusive Samurai. Let's be fucking real. That's already been taken care of. I'm just saying these are facts, and history is repeating itself with the Elusive Samurai and actually, Elusive Samurai in Japan has already sold over 1 million copies, so it's already surpassed Kimetsu no Yaiba in that regard. I'm talking about pre-anime. When it gets an anime, watch what happens to Elusive Samurai sales when it gets an anime. Just saying. But what I mean by history repeating itself is look at Jujutsu Kaisen. Well, Jujutsu Kaisen not ending for a minute. I'm talking about Black Clover and My Hero Academia. Those two are ending relatively soon, and there's going to be a battle for those two spots in particular. And there hasn't really been a series that will, in terms of battle shonen, that will take over that. Haikyuu, and also there hasn't been a sports series really that has taken Haikyuu's spot, because Haikyuu ultimately replaced Slam Dunk. But there hasn't been a series that has sports series that has replaced Haikyuu. And no, Blue Box don't count because Blue Box is more of a romance series. And I don't understand Blue Box. That series is so boring. Anyways, let's get back to this. But see, this is why I'm saying that history's kind of repeating itself. Let me read it from here again. It was a time in which both Dragon Ball and Slam Dunk ended right after the other, and lots of people thought Jump would be in huge trouble. I remember the cover of the Jump issue in which my series started appeared on the front cover of a newspaper, showing the cover of One Piece next to the headline, Jump is overtaken by magazine. And it's not like I had any responsibility over it at all, but I still remember feeling really frustrated. Here's for Iyama. Let's see what Iyama says. As for me, when the first chapter of Detective Conan was going to be published, I was supposedly going to appear at the center of the cover of the magazine. Thing is, during the World Cup preliminaries, Masashi Nakayama scored a really great goal, and my cover was replaced with him. Oh, no! That's why Conan's cover, which was supposed to appear with the first chapter of the series, had the bad luck to appear with the second chapter instead. Oh, that sucks! All right, let's get to the competitive spirit created by Jump. What do you think of each other and other mangaka who also have successful works? Here's what Oda says here. After Dragon Ball ended, the world of shonen manga was dominated by two works, Detective Conan and the Kadaichi case files. Conan was always winning! Yeah! I have my Heiji thing. Conan's always winning! Yeah, it's like, seriously? And then here we go. From Oda's point of view, that was indeed my perspective. Jump supporting hit work back then was Rurouni Kenshin by Nobuhiro Watsuki. I'm still hoping that Hokkaido arc gets simulpubs on Manga Plus. Why it's not on Manga Plus is beyond me. And Viz, you are a bunch of little cowards, bunch of bitches for not doing the licensing for Hokkaido arc. They're too fucking scared. So stupid. Let's see. Whoa! I was one of Watsuki Sensei's assistants. That makes a lot of sense, actually. That does, because people have been giving Oda a lot of shit for, still being friends with Watsuki, and that makes a lot of sense, because Oda is, was one of Watsuki's assistants. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I won't really hesitate saying this. We were proud our seniors led the shonen manga world with battle-focused manga. So we honestly thought mystery manga shouldn't be at the top of shonen manga. Watsuki Sensei himself had the stance that if a series wasn't always performing like his, it shouldn't be at the top of Jump. Oh my god, that is the Western manga that is the Western manga fan base way of thinking. The irony, this is so much irony going on with this. There is. Because Mofo's in the Western manga fandom, because of what happened with Watsuki all those years ago, And they want to quote, I hate using the word cancel, but because it gives it that stupid shit power. I'm going to use it because that's their word, not mine. Want to cancel him. They have the same goddamn mindset as him. The irony of this is everything. That's why I always considered Detective Conan an enemy to me, and thus didn't read it. I even had thoughts such as "I'll drag you down." Not joking. I used to think of you as an enemy until now. Kamatsuki Sensei himself had the stance of God damn it. So we also hold on. I gotta read this again. We were proud seniors led the shonen manga world with battle-focused manga. Yeah, that's the Western manga fandom's mindset, is that it's all about battle-focused manga equals shonen manga. That's what it is. Okay, now let's move on. And no way, an enemy? Oh my! Looking at your reply, it seems it was only me who thought we had some sort of rivalry. Poor Oda. Please say something like that's how Jump should be. Have you ever looked at someone as a rival? And this is Ayama said right here. Not really. When it comes to Kamari Yozaburo, Seimaru Amagi, and Sato Fumiya's the Kenichi case files, which, by the way, what are the simulpubs for the Kenichi case files? I've been dying to read that and the sequel manga as well. I used to have this I won't lose feeling, but there's still a series with pretty different genres. And then here's Oda right here. When I look at the whole, I like that. I gotta say this about Ayama. I like that Ayama is focusing more, like, in terms of rivalry, that it's within his own genre, within the mystery genre. He don't give a shit about, like, the battle genre. He don't care. He just focuses more on, like, his own genre, which I think is great. But I was overtaken right away. Wait. Oh, I fucked this up. Here's what Oda says in response. When I looked at the manga industry and glanced at the top, Detective Conan was always there. I was pretty aware of it all when I was nothing more than a newbie, but it is true that when you reach the top, you stop seeing it. But I was overtaken right away, right? Or am I wrong? Ooh, here's what Oda said in response to this. I was pretty desperate back then, so I'm not entirely sure how it all went. Since I started this series, I've been trying to do my best for myself, so I stopped looking at my surroundings. Here's what Ayama says in response to this. That's amazing, but it was really hard for me too. Doing a detective series on my own requires me to always think about my story and art, which leaves me no time to think about any other series. Which is true. When you're focused on something, when you're just so focused and on your own thing, you totally forget about the rest of the world, especially when it's something that you're passionate about. You forget about the rest of the world. Let's see. Basically, and here's what Oda says here. Basically, the moment you start a serialization, you stop looking at what's around you. I have a lot of respect for you being able to still continue during all this time. I agree. I have major respect for, like, not just Ayama, but Morikawa, the mangaka of Hajime no Ippo as well. Morikawa's just been going, like, almost nonstop since Hajime no Ippo started in 1989, aka the year I was born. So major respect for Morikawa as well. I want to see, like, a full interview with Morikawa. I do. I'd like to see Morikawa have a powwow with Oda at some point, but maybe we will. Maybe someday. Have you ever? Now let's get to the next question here. Have you ever thought of rookie mangaka as your rivals? Here's Ayama's answer first. Rivals? I wonder. I guess others are others, and I'm myself. That's what Ayama said. Ayama just doesn't give a fuck. And here's Oda's just like, you're pretty peaceful. When did you build that kind of mentality? I would say from the very beginning. For real? Didn't it feel like a competition when you were younger? And when I was younger, other detective works started to appear on Sunday since Detective Conan was performing well, so I did have that feeling of not wanting to lose, but that's about it. It's funny that now there's more more detective or mystery series starting to come out again, but I feel like it's to catch up. I don't know if it's to catch up with Detective Conan, but maybe it's to get, but nothing's really caught on detective wise besides Ron Kamonohashi Deranged Detective, at least in my opinion. Let's see. It may sound weird, but I don't think I ever felt like I had any enemy. As I mentioned earlier, the Kenichi case files was there, but it was a different work. I see your enemy. See, I caught that too. I see your enemy scope our mystery series. Yep, but still, there weren't many mangaka drawing detective series back then, so I felt it was something I was doing on my own. That's how I concluded. Others are others, and I myself. I like that mindset. I do, because Ayama's just like, dude, I'm just doing my own thing. My series, I'm doing a different genre. I don't need to compare myself to everyone else, because I think if Ayama was doing that, I think it would like stress him out too much. I do, and I like this mindset that Ayama has. And oh man, I'm just gonna keep going with this. But I really do like Ayama's mindset. That he's just focused on his own genre. And that's how I feel like other mangakas should be focused on, is just focus on their own genre. But anyways, here's what Oda says here. For me, it has been during these past few years that I've been able to keep a similar state of mind. Ooh, interesting. Until now, I've been aware readers often get disappointed if One Piece doesn't publish a new chapter, and I felt responsible for that. It has all changed lately thanks to new, younger writers that have grown up in Jump and rather support me even when I'm on a break, taking a lot of weight off my shoulders. See, I think the thing is, in regards to that, I think a lot of us have come to realize that manga, not just that mangaka are human, but we've become accustomed to a series going on hiatus like Hunter x Hunter and before Kentaro died, Berserk. We've seen it with World Trigger as well, and D Greyman, and I think we've become a lot more patient. Well, for us that are used to it, have become more patient. So I think that's why. But I think like especially with the more extreme cases like Hunter x Hunter and World Trigger especially, I think that's also why as well. And yeah, and also Kentaro situation like really hit it home. But anyways, this is also why I have stopped caring about fighting with other manga series. It truly feels like I have finally the freedom to face my fans at my own pace. He didn't feel wait, what? Oh, okay. It's because of the I understand what he's saying. He's saying because of the new younger writers that grew up with Jump and support him as well as the fans, he feels a lot less pressure and feels like he go at his own pace. I think the other thing is I think it's you gotta wonder if it's maybe like the editors as well, and maybe management realizing this too. I think I think it's all going back to like what's happened with like Tagashi and shit. I really feel like it's something like that too. I think things have changed because of how things have changed over the years. I think it has something to do with that. But I'm very curious what you guys think in regards to that. Oh, it seems like you've been pretty busy until now. I wonder why though. Is Jump System that bad? It's a fierce competition. If what you draw is not good enough, it will obviously get canceled. Is it the same for Sunday? Yes, it is. But on Sunday, from the old days, editors wouldn't tell mangaka their series rankings. After Detective Conan reached chapter 10, I had to ask them to give the rankings to me and started to follow them secretly. Ooh. Perhaps Jump shows the rankings and questionnaires deliberately to their mangaka in order to fuel their inner fighting spirit. That's something anyone, even I, worries about when starting a series, since you always want to know if you could survive or not. That's really interesting, though, what Ayama is saying. That that the editors at Sunday wouldn't give their mangaka the rankings. That's very interesting. The ranking system in Jump is very interesting too, because like you have the table of contents, and you also have to take into consideration the sales. I need to do a video on that because I've been hearing like different things, and I'm going to break down like what's going on with that because there's been a lot of misinformation. Anyways, yeah, but your serialization before Detective Conan managed to reach first place in the rankings 2 times during its final chapters, right? Yes, I was so happy to finally reach first place. I asked the editorial department to put it in my coffin since I was sure I'd die from overwork. Wow, I see you had some attachment to numbers. Don't you feel some frustration if you lose those placements then? Yeah, but Detective Conan has been in first place since the series pretty much started. Yeah, it's a bit odious to say that, so I'll stop. That's sad, though. Weekly Show on Sunday, that is sad for you. That Detective Conan carrying your magazine. I understand that feeling, too. Of course I understand that shit. How much pressure have you both felt carrying the flagship of the magazine for so long? Pressure? Zero. Yama. You know what, Yama? I understand you feeling no pressure, but Oda, you don't feel any pressure? Okay, that's the same for me. I mean, I thought it was Shokugaku's fault for letting me draw this series. I have been conscious of my own selfishness, so the more my fighting spirit grew, the more I thought it was my whole fault if the series had to end or fell in popularity. Ooh, I kind of like that answer from Oat. I like these answers from both of them. It's actually pretty funny. Okay, here we go. That's really hard to imagine. And here's what Ayama's going to answer this first. Honestly, if I had felt pressure, I wouldn't have been able to draw. Here's Oda after this. Yeah, if you stop to think about it for a second, it's kind of scary how much stuff I sometimes have to carry. Woo! I think only people with our kind of personality can survive through all this. I think so too. I agree with that. Because like if you go in with carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders like that, you're gonna crash and burn. What do you think of each other's art? Here's what Oda says. It's appealing. It's super appealing. Even when my only knowledge was about art, I thought it was really unique. Honestly, distinct and unusual art styles are the ones who could survive in this manga world. I agree with that. And it wasn't only that, but when I read the series, I felt a mysterious appeal. Kids, adult men, and women can all feel that same charm and become fond of the series, which is why I always thought it would become a success. I completely agree with Oda on this. Now, that's the thing. I gotta say this about Oda. With what Oda's saying, going off of that. It's the really unique series, and original series, especially when it comes to art, that will typically survive in the manga world. I agree. The writing's gotta be up to snuff too, obviously, but the art, because the art can only take you so far, but obviously. Anyways, now let's see what Ayama says about Oda here. I was really surprised when I saw there wasn't a scene of Luffy eating the Gomu Gomu no Mi. If it had been me, I would have drawn Dokun sound effects after he ate it. And Detective Conan, the main character, also changes his body after consuming a drug, but even if I try to draw those same sensations, I think One Piece expressions feel way fresher, for the time especially. Also, those elder designs from the Gorosei who appear in the Levelly arc are amazing. I honestly don't know how to draw those. And here's what Oda says in response to this. I think that was something good for my younger self. I made them appear a long time ago, but when I look at back into it now, I don't think their designs were bad at all. Still, those characters haven't really shown their actual value yet. Woo! See, this is why I'm covering this, because we get good shit like this. But now let's get to the TV. Ooh, okay, I'm going to drink right now. We get into the anime adaptations now. This is another reason why I wanted to cover this. Is because not only are they talking about their manga, and we're getting like little snippets like this, we're getting anime stuff. All right, let's go. When it comes to TV anime adaptations, many voices end up overlapping. Yamaguchi Kappei voices Shinichi Kudo, Kaido Kid, and Usopp. Oh, I didn't know that. Ikeda Shuichi voices Akai and Shanks. Faraya Toro voices Amaru and Sabo. He voices Amaru and Sabo. Otani Iku voices Mitsuhiko and Chopper. Hayama. No wonder they do overlap, considering both anime have been going on for a quarter century. That's a great point. When I watched Detective Conan, The Bride of Halloween, I was surprised at how many voices I did recognize. Yuriko Yamaguchi, who voices Nico Robin, appears as Christine Richard in the Dressrosa arc. There were a lot of voice actors from Detective Conan. Megumi Hayashibara, who voices Ai Haibara, also played the role of Rebecca. Oh, go figure. And here's what Ayama says here. Furuya Toru, who voices Amaru, also appears as Sabo, a pretty good role. And Akita Shuichi voices Shanks in your upcoming film Red, right, Oda-kun? He also voices Akai Shuichi in Detective Conan, which is a pretty popular role. He didn't appear in your last movie, did he? In The Bride of Halloween. But in Detective Conan, he does appear more frequently, right? In One Piece, many times the members of the crew have to separate, so there's a lot of examples of regular characters who take holidays quite often. Sanji came to dub for the first time after 3 years. Oh my god. It took 7 years since Akai left it appeared again, and I even thought of spoiling it after 2 years had passed. Vermouth also took 5 years to appear once again in the TV anime since her last appearance. Oh man, the anime has so much filler. Anime only at Detective Conan, you have missed so much. I didn't expect for the TV anime to continue for so long. Many of the voice actors are getting old. Some time ago, Mayumi Tanaka, who voices Luffy, asked us with worry what would happen if she died. So Masako Nozawa, who voices Kureha, told her, if you die, I'll take your role. That's not what you stinky bitch. If you don't know who Nozawa is, she voices Goku and Gohan. I didn't know she was in One Piece as well. I hope they all stay as healthy as possible. Ayama-san, do you usually talk to the voice actors? Here's what Ayama says here. Before Corona-sama happened, we had a movie launch party, so we used to talk a lot. Some time ago, I saw a fireworks display from my living room, so I called all the voice actors and improvised a huge banquet in my house. It was really fun, even though it was still a lot of work. You keep doing it right, Oda-kun? That's amazing. We usually just do self-service, and I tell them I'm doing a takoyaki party. Then I cook it all without asking the others. Oda-sensei, you said in an old interview that you were glad to be close with all the anime staff, and all of this really does give the impression you get along with the animation and production staff. Now, this is something I think is really important. Another reason why I'm doing this deep dive is because I saw this, and I was just like, okay, let's see what Oda's saying about this. Yeah, it's always been that way. The TV anime started a really long time ago. All of them have become my relatives at this point. Even my children have known them since they were small, so it's almost like a family relationship. To me, this explains why the anime is such is a great adaptation of the manga in terms of writing, because of the relationship they have. And maybe even animation as well, art and animation as well, is because of that. Anyways. And here's what Ayama says. Mine's not that far of a relationship, but I have stated many times with determination that this actor should voice this character. For example, Koichi Yamadera, who voices Tsutomu Akai, a character that recently appeared in the anime, was chosen by me. I sometimes also change the characters in the manga after listening to the voices of the voice actors, thinking to myself, so this is their voice. I like that. I like when this happens, and this happens with Toriyama as well, where the anime will influence how the manga goes, like how the mangaka will get inspired by the anime sometimes. I like that. And this is an interesting thing from Oda as well. Again, why I wanted to do this. I shifted Chopper's role to a mascot character after hearing his voice in the TV anime, even when I had a policy of not drawing mascot characters, but Otani Iku's voice was too cute. See, you get interesting things like this from interviews like this. It's the same for me when I heard Otani's voice as Mitsuhiko. I thought it was so cute. I started to draw his character cuter. Ayama-san, you also overlap voice actors with their roles, right? Like Takagi-san or Furuya-san. Wataru Takagi-san had an unnamed role back then, but when his character appeared in the TV anime, he became Detective Takagi because he introduced himself saying, "Please call me Takagi." I made him take responsibility and even appear in the scenes with his real name. Oh my gosh. Let's see. For Ayatoru's case is, in fact, a homage to Gundam's Amaru Ray, a name I separated to give birth to two names, Faraya Ray and Amaru Toru. I hope Gundam fans will be pleased with this. Oh, Gundam fans, that's for you! Did you watch Gundam Otokan? I'm gonna have to send this to my editors because I think they'll like that. Because they're huge Gundam fans. Did you watch Gundam Otokan? I did see Gundam and I liked it, but I think the experiences we had with it are pretty different. I see. Then you didn't watch the first Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam? No, Oda's not a Gundam person. Oh, poor Gundam fans. No, it was indeed the first Gundam. The boom of the series happened back during your teen times, Ayama-san. And after that, when I was a little kid, a second boom came. I was under the impression that those rebroadcasts were already a big hit. Okay, now we're getting to the movies. How are you two usually involved with your series movies? Let's see if this is different than with Dragon Ball, where Toriyama was not really as involved. Here's what Yamasa says. I involved myself since the very beginning of the movie, from scenarios to the content, up to getting too involved and frowned upon. Yes! Ayama cracks the whip! Yes! You love to see it! Yeah, Yama! Yes, this is what I love to see. Oh my god. Okay, now I feel, but maybe I'll watch the Detective Conan anime movies now, knowing that Yama cracks the whip. Yes! All right, let's get to Oda here. Also, Detective Conan releases a movie every year, right? I wonder if the disconnected nature of the stories in the series is what makes it work so well, since in my case, every chapter is connected to each other. That is actually pretty true, if you think about it. I have to continuously think about the story in the weekly serialization, so I can't really think about different stories. I guess our brains work differently. Usually one case lasts about 3 to 6 chapters in Detective Conan, which makes it easier to plan for a movie, which is very true. But at the same time, there are certain cases that Ayama has where it does connect to the main story in regards to the Black organization. So there is that. But Ayama, you sneaky motherfucker. But before a certain chapter, where Ayama says that everything up until like somewhere in the thousands, which is like the bloody FBI badge case, it's all a prequel. Ayama's such an ass. But yeah. But in One Piece, any case lasts too long. That length may be what makes it difficult to make more movies for the series. See, Ayama's fucking smart. It seems pretty hard to handle some sort of side trip to a different island when all the characters are already on their journey to find the One Piece. But here's where I kind of disagree in a sense, because you could make a Rocks movie based on that backstory. Oh, I'd love to see a Rock Pirates movie. Oda, get on that. Not only that, but the crewmates on board keep increasing. So with anything that happens, there's not only one reaction, which just makes the story keeps getting extended. Let's put it this way. If the number of detectives in Detective Conan increase, wouldn't that give you trouble? I really don't want to increase the detective team. Huh? I'll definitely not increase it. No, you do. Well, Ayama has added like police officers here and there. Police/detectives here and there for certain stories, but Ayama, you do add people from the Black organization, mind you, and I would say FBI agents here and there. But in regards to like the main detective team, nah, Ayama hasn't added people there. So there's that. I think that's what Ayama is referring to. What was your experience watching each other's movies? Here's what Oda says about The Bride of Halloween. The Bride of Halloween was really cool. I was surprised when I heard Detective Conan was increasing its female readership, since I have always thought that it was just a shonen series in which a bunch of little kids resolve cases. So? I wondered why that was and completely understood it when I saw the movie. Ah, so they really like the police characters and all these handsome girls. No! No, it's not just that. I mean, I like the mystery. Women like mystery stories. But I love Heiji. He's my baby. I love a Kai and shit like that too. It's not just the police. There's like a Kai, there's Amaru, and then there's my baby Heiji. I love Heiji. But like, it's not just the police characters. I don't like the police characters are meh. I like the other characters. I like the women like mysterious characters. We like bad boys more than the policemen. Out of all Vodakun's movies, the one I like the most is One Piece film Gold. It was fun, since I have always liked sparkling places like Las Vegas. I want to go to that casino ship, Grand Tesoro. I want to go too. Seriously? Thank you. If I had to mention something all of our movies have in common is that in One Piece and Detective Conan, there's always an expansion in the ending. Oh, that's right. And the classic way of Royal Road Shonen manga, isn't it? Oh, no, I'm referring to the narrative with expansion. In Detective Conan, we expand soccer balls, and One Piece Luffy can expand his whole body. That's true. I didn't realize that until now. The bigger they are, the more exciting it is. That is some major phrasing. That is major phrasing out of you. Oh my God. My mind is just on a never-ending gutter down to Tartarus. God damn it. It's been like this since 2003. Oh God, I'm so fucking old. Anyways, so that's what you meant. Big is always justice. Oh my God. No, I guess it's pretty clear. We're both from the Ultraman's era. I remember that in film Gold, there were turtles moving cars at the turtle car race. Are you the one that comes up with these ideas? I usually leave all the ideas to the scriptwriter, and I only check the contents of the movie and fix whatever needs to be fixed. So this kind of proves like what Oda, unlike Ayama, up until film Red, obviously, Oda isn't as involved in the One Piece movies like Ayama is in Detective Conan. And Oda's kind of like giving you that Toriyama realness up until, Film Red, which is, I think, going to be like, it's going to be interesting to see if Film Red is like the Battle of Gods equivalent of One Piece. We'll see. But if I don't, movies belong to directors, so that's something I shouldn't be doing. Oh, Oda, you are wrong about that. But if I don't do that, I can't really take responsibility. You draw key frames for your movies. Wait, hold on. Movies belong to directors. If they're using your original work, Oda, I don't know. Ask how that went with Toriyama and Dragon Ball GT. Well, Dragon Ball GT was a series. But ask how that went with Toriyama and Dragon Ball Evolution. See how that went. You draw key frames for your movies, right? Well, he didn't even check the script, so I guess that's the only thing. I've been fulfilling that role since the very first movie, the time-bombed skyscraper, and has been increasing steadily. This year, I have drawn around 20 key frames. Well, I'm pretty sure fans can easily notice which are drawn by you. You could draw movie key frames too, Oda-kun. If I were to put too much work into the movies, then I wouldn't be able to continue regularly with the weekly series, so it's difficult to handle. I do, which, yeah, I can understand, but you could at least, it's different when you write the script compared to, like, the art and animation. I understand if you ain't doing the art and animation, but the script, man? I mean, come on. I do know that in order to maintain the series' popularity, I have to attract new fans and generate more worldwide buzz with a movie at least once every 3 years. But it's honestly really hard. I know if I have to do it, I'll be pretty picky. I'm aware of my own personality, even if at first I didn't really like it. In the end, I end up meddled even in advertisement processes. Woo! I check the booklets handled at theaters and their production deadlines, and just supervise everything. Oda has learned! I also keep an eye on poster layouts and design. You seriously love this. Still, I feel bad for my junior mangaka. I created a culture at Jump in which the movie would be a success if the original author gets involved. So everyone has started to be borrowed to work on them. To my surprise, though, these youngsters are really enjoying it. I That's something that I really like that I hope more mangaka are starting to do. Is that Oda has a system in place for even when he has to retire, that One Piece, and if he dies before One Piece is completed, that he already has a system in place for the manga to finish up. I like that he has a system in place for the movies too. I think that's smart. Good on you. Good on you, Oda. And also the youngsters get to enjoy it too. That's great. Not at all. I think it's really good. Everyone seems to be enjoying it. What do you think of your protagonist? So Conan is everyone's organizer. To me, Luffy is the easiest character to draw. I always knew that he would be the character that would stay the longest with me. He's just more focused on what's easiest to draw. If that's so, what character do you think you're the only person that could write them? Oh, I think that's still Luffy. Many scriptwriters try to deal with him, but I have to fix his sentences all the time. Otherwise, people wouldn't accept him as the Luffy they know. God damn it! Seriously? Fucking asshole scriptwriters. Does Detective Conan have a character like that? A character that always needs to have their lines fixed? In my series, it would be Jin. Everyone always tries to make him say, "I'll kill everyone," and I have to tell them, "No, we would never say that." Oh, Kitty, come here. Oh. You know what? That don't surprise me. I understand that. The character we always must fix in my movie is the same character only we can write. It's a pretty weird relationship, isn't it? From a reader's perspective, you can notice small details if the character acts differently. But as a scriptwriter, it feels like a completely different character. Yeah. I always have to 100% fix Jin. Lately, scriptwriters just hand me the script, so I directly fix him. Sometimes it's written as some sort of love comedy scene, like Ayama Sensei save me. I'm like, seriously? Then you immediately fix it to work because of success, and they keep relying on you. Oh my god! You know what? This could explain a lot of things on why anime in the dark age. It really could. Exactly. But it does. That's the thing, though. It's what Ayama says here, exactly. But it does make me happy they rely on me. You know what? Anime industry, I have to wonder this. Why aren't you relying on the mangaka more? Based on this, they like it when you reach out to them. Because it really seems to me you ain't reaching out to the mangaka more. Especially based on what I've seen in series like Oshinoko, based on, things I've seen in Hitman, because, trust me, they have revealed, Aka and Seokoji have revealed a lot of things about the anime industry. I know Bakuno has too, but these two in particular have really, I'm talking about the recent shit going down in the anime industry. But I mean, it will, and similar to Hitman and Oshinoko, this is very consistent with that. They want to be relied on. Even Aimato and Miyakumi, God bless her soul, they like to be a part of the process. Why aren't you letting the mangaka be a part of the process? Because we know they aren't, okay? We know. Because trust me, if certain series let the mangaka be more, involved in the process, we'd actually be getting adaptations instead of interpretations. I'm looking at you, Mappa. All right, let's get to the decisive points here. If you look at back at the more than 100 volumes you both have published, which would you say was your more decisive point in this series? All right, let's see what they say. That's hard. This is Ayama starting off with this. That's hard to say, but if I had to choose some point, it would be the chapter I wrote back when I was discharged from. Oh shit! When I was discharged from the hospital after taking a break due to sudden illness. The chapter started with Akai and Amuro pointing their pistols at each other back in volume 95, chapter 1009. Oh, wait, did Ayama say they were in the hospital then? I know the manga was on hiatus. I don't remember if it was if they said they were in the hospital. Mariyama. But I remember that too. I remember when we saw Akai and Amuro pointing their guns. I remember this. I remember that. Oh my god, that chapter was fucking hype. That sounds so cool. When was that chapter released? Oh, 4 years ago. I took a long break, so for my comeback, I had to draw something popular, which pushed me to make that cool scene. Oh god, that was so epic. Although until then, I hadn't really been writing anything in the series aiming at that moment. I don't give a shit if it was aiming toward that moment or not. It was fucking epic. I feel the same. I feel the exact same as you, but my decisive point would be something more recent. Luffy got a new power-up called Gear 5th, which is something I have wanted to draw for a long time. Okay, hold on. I need to sit for this. We getting into Gear 5. Let's go. It's surprising you both chose such relatively recent chapters in One Piece chapter 1044. The real name of the Gomu Gomu no Mi is revealed, and Gear 5th appears, letting Luffy fight changing his whole body. Oh, here's Oda's thoughts on this. So now we're getting the origin here of Gear 5, or origin/inspiration for this. This is good shit. This is what I've been waiting for. And this is actually another reason why I'm doing this. I drew this because I really want to have fun, and I think that it's okay if people don't like it. Exactly. Fuck you if you don't like it. I just want to play around with my battles. Since I was an assistant, I felt that silly expressions that were so characteristic in manga have been gradually lost. 1,000,000,000% agree. Putting a light bulb in a character's head when they come up with some idea, or making the character legs go in circles when they're running, for example. Remember, if you watch my live reaction for Gear 5, remember what I said? I said that how nostalgic that looked, how it made me feel, how it took me back to like old school cartoons, like watching like Looney Tunes or Tom and Jerry, or like watching the classic cartoons. See, Oda and I are on the same fucking page. I knew I was right. Oh, right. Also, those eyes popping out. I've also, here's what Oda says here. I have always loved those symbolic expressions, but they keep disappearing. I completely agree. Nobody draws them anymore, even though there are predecessors' creations who also left many formulae we still use. Bao manga has to keep getting more and more serious to keep up with the reader's expectations, and I honestly hate that. I do too. I hate that Bao manga has become so serious. It's really one of the reasons why I love Me and Roboco so much. And one of the reasons why, that's why I was getting pissed off at people hating on One Piece for this. Because One Piece really took you back to like the really, really old school days. It made me feel so nostalgic. I definitely don't want my work to become a serious manga like that. Exactly. I want and have decided to have fun. And I feel like I'm finally able to do that. When I was drawing this, I actually had fun. So Oda's saying that with the serious battles, he thought it was getting too serious, that it wasn't fun. And with this, he was having fun. I said in my live reaction, I was having fun with this. I was. Whoa, amazing. I really like this design. It's excellent. I'm also impressed that you were able to draw these kinds of faces. Woo! See, Oda and I are on the same page. Yep. Thank you. When thinking about its concept, you could think of it as if it suddenly became Tom and Jerry. I said this! That suddenly became Tom and Jerry. I said this in my live reaction. I said it here. That Gear 5 was like Tom and Jerry, that he was thinking of Tom and Jerry and old school cartoons when doing these fights. When people got pissed off at this, I was like, what the fuck? I got nostalgic over it. Like, it really brought me back to my childhood. I'm curious if anyone else got the same thing. I knew what Oda was going for. I'm glad Oda confirmed what I was thinking with Gear 5. I'm glad that we're on the same page. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Yep. I like Tom and Jerry. I just can't forget Jerry. Jerry? Oh no, I supported Jerry. Yeah, but you really, you anti-Jerry? Good on you, Anna, for saying you supported Jerry. Really? Tom always tried so really hard. But Jerry was too sneaky. I hate Jerry a lot. Although, if I had to compare one of them to Conan, he would probably be Jerry. When I tried to, so now we get into draw Gear 5. When I tried to draw for the first time, it was pretty difficult. The world of Tom and Jerry works because of both characters, so I struggled a lot looking at the difference in attitude between Luffy, who was making pranks in the middle of the battle, and his serious opponent. But in the end, I feel like I actually pulled it off. The older you get, the harder and more tiring it is to draw battles, isn't it? I'm going to read Ayama's portion of this, and then I'll give my thoughts on this. And then we'll get to part 2. Well, there aren't many action or battle scenes in Detective Conan, so when I have to draw them, I do it in high spirits. Still, it usually ends pretty fast, considering it's just shooting soccer balls. A long time ago, though, I did get tired of it while drawing Yaiba. When the Japanese archipelago became a dragon, it was hard for me and my assistants to pull off those drawings. Even with that, drawing action is a fun experience. Okay, you know what? I think I'll do a separate video for part 2, and I'll record it right after this one, because this video is like an hour long already. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So let me give you my thoughts on part 1, and then I will record part 2 and upload it. So this first portion of the interview was very interesting. We got a lot of information. I really enjoyed the insight we got on what was going on when both Ayama and Oda started One Piece and Detective Conan. I really and also in terms of the anime adaptations. But Gear 5 here is what's really intriguing me the most. Especially with what Oda was saying in regards to Gear 5, what inspired him to do Gear 5. Because he was just so sick of the seriousness that's going on in Battle Shonen. And he wanted to bring back the comedy to it. And I think that's so smart. I do. I really enjoyed that. And I gotta give mad respect to Oda for this. I really do. And also, Ayama, mad respect to you for how active you are in the movies, and for the anime process as well. For you, and just really making me think of, like, wow, there's a reason why. A bigger reason why Ayama does what he does with the cases, how he does this formatting, is so that it can be adapted into movies. Because I never thought about it like that. But let me get back to Gear 5 here. I'm glad that Oda and I are on the same page about this. That it was inspired by, like, Tom and Jerry, and, well, I was saying Looney Tunes, but it was inspired by that cat and mouse game, that old school Tom and Jerry, and it really took me back to my childhood too when I was covering it. So I'm glad that, Oda and I are on the same page in regards to that. I really love Ayama, and also I love Ayama's mindset that where Oda was so, in the beginning, was so competitive when he started off. I love that Ayama was more so thinking about focusing on the competition he had in his genre of, mystery, more so than the bigger picture, which I thought was very smart. I think that's very smart of Ayama. And I love how, and also how kind of history is repeating itself with what Oda is saying in regards to, like, how when he started, both Dragon Ball and Slam Dunk ended when One Piece started. And now you got something similar going on with My Hero Academia and Black Clover ending at the same time. I know people are going to say Kimetsu no Yaiba included in this. Nah. Well, you make the argument about Kimetsu no Yaiba and Haikyuu ending at the same time. I will give you that. You could make that argument. But they're not as big. Yeah. But it's a little bit different between them and, like, say, Black Clover and My Hero Academia. A little bit different than that. I feel like Jujutsu Kaisen is this generation. This could be this generation's One Piece. Could make the argument for that. But yeah, and there's you can't make the comparison with Kimetsu no Yaiba. Haikyuu being the equivalent of Dragon Ball and Haikyuu. No. But Haikyuu is basically the equivalent of Slam Dunk, though. I will agree with that. I will say that. But I'm very curious what you guys think of this and think of this interview so far. I'll record part 2 right after I'm done with this. But you understand why I'm covering this. I just think it's so important to discuss this, and I just think it's just so fascinating what they're discussing in terms of, like, their inspirations and what the industry was like back when they started and compare it to how it is now. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Nerdigans Inc. Love what we're doing and want to help keep this channel alive and kicking so we can keep bringing you more anime and manga content. A few ways you could do that: donate to our Cash App, PayPal, Patreon, purchase something off our Amazon wishlist, all that's in the description box below. Also, make sure you follow us on Twitter, Twitch, Discord, friend us on PlayStation Network. That's in the description box below as well. Till next time, Nerdigans, stay tuned for part 2. I'll be seeing you later.